Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stag Stuff. You will remember a little while ago that I took a trip to Scotland, and while I was driving up the A1 through Northumbria, I suddenly realised I was going past somewhere very, very special to me. So I'm going to hand over to me in the car, and I'll let myself. This all very sounds confusing, doesn't it? But I'll let myself explain what's going on.
Well, I just couldn't help it. We've taken a detour and we're going to go across the causeway to Holy Island. You can only go across here at low tide, and people have been known to get stuck. But I've checked the crossing times and we're going to be okay. People are actually walking across, which can be done when you follow the markers. You might be able to have seen there was kind of a little box on stilts. That's for when the tide comes in and they might have got caught, and you can actually climb up into those platforms and then just wait for the tide to go back out again. Is the most beautiful, peaceful place, steeped in history, and of course it's known for the monastery that was here. Mead is still made here by the monks. This is where the famous Book of Kells comes from. Welcome to Lindisfarne. If you remember, I was saying about the people that would walk across the bay, and if we zoom in just here, you can see the poles giving a nice straight line, shortest distance across, and you can see the people following the poles and walking across on the safe sand. But if we pan around, you'll be able to see that that's the way that the road goes. So we have to take a much further distant route to get to Lindisfarne by car. And it's such a strange thing on Lindisfarne. The island is packed with people, as we can see here. And yet, it always seems to be such a peaceful and calm place to be. So here we have Lindisfarne High Street. Oh yes, it's bustling, not. But here we have one of the highlights for me. It is the Lindisfarne Scriptorium. There's a lady that runs this place called Mary Fleeson, and she makes the most amazing modern Celtic artwork. I'd check it out if I were you. Lindisfarne-scriptorium.co.uk. Well worth looking at the amazing art that she creates. Every village needs a good pub, and Lindisfarne is no exception, and the ship, I have to say, personal experience, gives a very good pint and does a very good meal too. On the castle side of the island, there's a beautiful bay
And Lindisfarne still has an active fishing fleet. It is of course tidal, so you would need a bilge keel. And, that's 2 keels. Here we go. Great example of a bilge keel. 2 fins coming down from the bottom. And then if we just pan over this way, you can see just there, sticking up on the only lump of rock for miles around, we have Lindisfarne Castle.
So on to the main event, which is of course Lindisfarne Priory. So in 635, the Northumbrian King Oswald summoned an Irish monk named Aidan from Iona to be bishop of his kingdom. Oswald granted Aidan and his companions the small tidal island of Lindisfarne on which to found a monastery. And sometime in the 670s, a monk named Cuthbert joined the monastery at Lindisfarne. He eventually became Lindisfarne's greatest monk bishop and the most important saint in northern England in the Middle Ages. As a prior of Lindisfarne, Cuthbert reformed the monk's way of life to conform to the religious practices of Rome rather than Ireland, and this caused bitterness, and he decided to retire and live as a hermit. But on the insistence of the king, however, Cuthbert was made a bishop in 685. His new duties brought him back into the world of kings and nobles, and he acquired a considerable reputation, but it was as a pastor, a seer, and a healer, rather than a glorious bishop. After his death, he was declared a saint. On the 8th of June, 793, Lindisfarne suffered a devastating raid by the Vikings, and it wasn't until 1069 that monks returned to live on Lindisfarne. On this beautiful island, the Lindisfarne Gospels were created. These are dated at about 715, and it is believed that they were produced in honour of St. Cuthbert. The Gospels demonstrate Anglo-Saxon art, culture, and religious expression, and have become famous for their beauty and ornate detail and design. It was at this point, while looking out over the Farne Islands, that I decided it really was time to get off the island before the tide came in and cut me off. And so rather than finishing with the normal closing credits, I feel it's appropriate to finish this video with a traditional Celtic blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.